Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Sans World, and today I'm gonna try this out. So if I make it to the end of the video, then I'll probably be posting it up. So this is a weird intro. But as you guys know, I was doing the Let's Collaborate Progressive Trance series. What happened was I couldn't finish it, one, because I was having issues with ASIO drivers, so I wasn't able to record the thing. So I found a new way of doing it, but I might run into some crackles now and then. The next thing is I got really uninspired by it. So usually for me, I work on a track. And if I get really uninspired, like I don't know where to take it, I usually move on. Because there's no, once you're uninspired to work on something, then pretty much that's it. You know, there's not much you can do, and you should just keep going and try to work on something that does inspire you. So with that track, I got uninspired. I know I was making a series for it, but I couldn't continue it because I got stuck on it really badly. So I just decided to do this. I'm gonna try and make a song, hopefully progressive trance. I'm in the mood to make something like it. Hopefully we can come up with something. We're gonna be using the Serum sound banks. I just released a new Serum one. We'll see if we end up using it. I'm not sure yet because that bank doesn't really have much progressive trance sounds, so we'll see where we go with it. Let's get to it. Yeah, let's just get to it, I guess. Fuck it. Alright, so first things first, we're gonna start with, you know, the kick and all that. So we're gonna go into the trance and use the tunes kick pack that I have, which is really, really good. I recommended it in the last video and I still recommend it. A lot of these kicks are just amazing. It's a collection of kicks, but what I think the tunes did is they, I think what they actually did was they got the best kicks from sample packs and they just put them into a pack and called it like the tunes trance progressive kick pack. But it's not available out there no more. But a few of the people on YouTube that were following the Progressive Trance series managed to pick it up, and they put a link up on there. So make sure to check that video out for the link. They did share it, I believe so. So that'll be cool. I don't want to share it because I don't want to run into problems. So that's pretty much the only reason. But it is a free download. So try and Google it. I'm sure there's still like a download link out there. All right, so let's find a kick. We're gonna use this one because it's very snappy and I like the transient on it. Whenever someone talks about a transient, they're talking about pretty much the initial click that you hear from the kick. So if I were to take this out, that's the transient, and it's pretty much the loudest part of a kick usually. So a lot of the times if you over compress stuff, you lose transients and shit like that. So that's why over compression is bad sometimes. So let's get to it. Tunes kickback. So first thing we need is obviously a bass. See if we can come up with something cool. Now I wish I could record from my webcam so I can show you guys the piano, because I need to hold down a key to talk. So hopefully, you know, if it gets to me in the piano, I'll try and hold the caps lock while I'm playing it with one hand or something. So let's see what we got. Alright, so I want to use the key of D sharp. I've been really inspired to use that key a lot, so I'm gonna keep using it. I'm gonna have the bass be on the root note of D sharp, and we're doing D sharp minor, and it's gonna be a hybrid of a pentatonic and a minor. But the pentatonic usually is what most of the catchiest melodies are made in, and a lot of pop music is only made in that key. So that's a quick tip. Alright, let's level things right. I like to give myself a lot of headroom. Usually the kick will be the loudest along with the bass. Alright, we're gonna use that. We're gonna move this along. We're not trying to make a masterpiece track. It's just gonna be like a practice run through track, and hopefully you guys learn some stuff. So we're gonna extend the notes. If you guys note, it does make a huge difference, especially when you're using leads that are sustainable. So make sure that if you want that the bass to sound huge, you gotta actually give it some, you know, some fucking length to it. All right, so there we go. There's our bass line. We're gonna sidechain it. I usually use the LFO tool, but lately I've been running into issues when I try to record tutorials where if I use the LFO tool, it just sounds like fucking straight up sidechain on the fucking kick, just takes off the whole volume for the bass. It starts sounding really weird. So I'm just gonna use the compressor way, route it to the kick. And the kick doesn't need to be EQ'd through here, but if there's a quick tip, if you guys want to do this, it saves time and you don't need a ghost kick. You can EQ the kick as it goes into the compressor, and just by clicking this, it does the effect that you need. However, if you're doing a big room kick, then make sure to put the frequency up. It's using a high pass, and if you guys know what a high pass does, it gets rid of the lows first and then now the highs. So obviously we get rid of the lows, but we're not using this because the kick isn't really that long. And remember, if you're having a big bass, a long bass, a big kick isn't necessary. So you can only have one thing. You can either have a big kick and a small bass, or a big bass and a small kick. The kick we have right now is fairly small compared to other kicks. As you guys can see, it doesn't even reach the half bar line here. So pretty much our kick allows us to have a really big bass, which we are going to take advantage of. So remember that. That's a trick I give you guys, and it's one of the things that almost all producers say in their production videos, like Nicky Romero and stuff. And it's honestly true. It's one of the best tips that you can give someone. Alright, cool. I'm actually liking the way this sounds, so we're gonna keep it like this. I'm using the Spy Revolution bank, and I'm using the bass Let's Go. So if you guys have that that bank, you guys can use that bass if you want to follow along with or anything. Alright, so now the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up a silent one, and I'm pretty much just gonna make a sub so I can separate the bass that I have now away from the sub, so I can alter this bass, like process it, compress it really good without altering the low end of it. Because when you over compress, when you really compress stuff, the first thing that goes away when you compress is gonna be the low end, the bass part. So if you guys want to try it, get a bass and just compress the shit out of it, bring it up, and you will lose your bass. That's why a lot of the times when you hear these tracks from some people that are not really professionals and they mix and master their own tracks, some people think that over compression sounds good, and a lot of times you hear their songs is like, where's the fucking bass? And that's mainly why, because they over compressed, or they just, you know, didn't use the right thing. But I'm gonna use a sub to separate again the bass from the low end. I'm putting 8 voices so it's loud. It sounds like this, so we need to lower it a bit to around 2. So we want the sub to sound like that. You want it to be audible, you want to feel it. If you go too low and you don't feel the sub but you hear it, then you've gone too far. A lot of the scales as well, they suck when it comes to sub basses. Like these scales aren't as powerful as G or F, so keep that in mind. Now we're gonna sidechain this kick, this sub, but we want to do a heavy sidechain to it because again, this is the most problematic area that you will run into. Is your kick and bass fighting a lot. So again, choosing a small kick, if you're gonna have a big bass, is a good strategy to go straight. You know, when you go straight into it, be like, okay, I want a big ass kick and a small bass and whatnot. That's why a lot of progressive house, if you hear like the melodic ones, the kicks tend to be really short, like, because the bass is always there, and that's something that's just been happening a lot. If you guys can hear in every song Dissected, hear the kick, it's mostly like a click a lot of the time. So now since we have this sub, we're gonna put an EQ on it to see what frequencies it's taking up. I could put a frequency spectrum, but what I like to do is I like to do a low pass to it so I can get rid of the highs that it doesn't need. Alright, now what we're gonna do is do a notch down to it like this. And there we have it. And now we're gonna EQ this bass, get rid of that super low end from it, and then we'll be set to go. So pretty much we want to get rid of the part where our sub is, you know, the part the sub is taking up. And now what we're gonna do is put our sub in mono and our kick in mono, because those are the things that are gonna be in mono. We're gonna kind of put the main bass that we have from Spire in kind of mono, but we're not doing it fully mono, so we have still a little bit of stereo, and that's a cool trick to have. Okay, now what we're gonna do is add some reverb to this bass. So I already have my bass return here. So what you wanna do is you wanna insert return track and put a bass that way, so you can send your bass to there and EQ the bass reverb by itself. So this allows us to do that. I think I'm gonna use the vintage Burv. because it's my favorite one, and plus I have presets for it that help a lot. The presets, by the way, some of you guys asked for them. This presets come from freshly squeezed samples. It's called Reverb Essentials. I forgot who released it, but I ended up supporting it because I think it's really cool that someone took the time to make really good reverb presets, and I actually enjoy using them. They actually have a bigger one as well, but I use this. It saves a lot of time than me dabbling to get the reverb perfect. I just really like it. It's also it's good to note that you should know what every parameter does in here, just in case you use a reverb that you like but there's something about it bothering you, then you can change the parameters on it. But yeah, pretty simple stuff. You know, we have the shape of the reverb here, the size of it, just like in Silent One we have the size. It pretty much is deciding how big the room is in. The attack of the reverb is pretty much, you can call it like sort of like a pre-delay in a way, but it just decides how fast something happens. And then we got more stuff here, like the EQ for the reverb and all that stuff, which is pretty cool because that means I can put the reverb on the bass and still alter it, but I'm just used to doing this, so that's the only reason why I'm doing it. Alright, so we want to add a hint of reverb to that bass just to make it sound more alive and make the mix sound a lot better. Like there's more stuff going on, and the reverb is going to help us cover some frequencies. So there we have it. Sounds pretty good. Okay, now let's get to it. Let's start adding more stuff to it. So what we're gonna do is add some white noise. This white noise pretty much is meant so that it doesn't sound so empty, and we're gonna have it be in the background, but very very minimal. Like you want to barely hear it, but it's still gonna be there, and subconsciously the listener is gonna be listen to it. Their brain's gonna hear the white noise, but they're not really gonna focus on it because the main attention on this first part of the drop is gonna be the bass. So that's where that comes from. Okay, so pretty much we're gonna put white noise. I like to use one from Pressure Samples, but you can make your own as well. I just use this because it's a lot faster than me making my own. I go to Misc Effects, and I think it's a 1 or 2 or 3. Yeah, there you go, these ones. So let's try them out and see if they actually do help, because sometimes this might fight the rhythm of the bass, so we got to be really careful. Alright, so there we have it. It sounds pretty good. We're gonna apply an EQ to it just to make sure that there's not that much low end in it. Did I put it in the right one? No, I didn't. So I'm gonna put it there. Now we're gonna reduce this to 2. There we go. And now what we're gonna do is just make sure the noise is a little bit wide. We're gonna use the S1 imager for this. You can use the utility from Ableton. Just move the width up to 125%. Go. Now it sounds really good. Alright, cool guys. Alright, now let's move it along. After every 8 bars you want something new to happen, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put a little notch here with no kick, and then we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna have a reverse cymbal, which is gonna help us move it along, and we're gonna introduce maybe some claps and other stuff like that. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use stuff here. So let's search reverse. Let's see, we have some reverse cymbal. We're gonna use the one in D. There we go. Let's put it in the reverse channel here, mini reverse. Make sure to organize your stuff too, guys. It helps a lot, especially when you have big projects. We're gonna lower volume a bit. Let's see, make sure. There we go. Sounds really clean. It helps move stuff along. The purpose of effects, guys, is to help transition stuff and let people know subconsciously, okay, we're gonna introduce something new, or oh, the buildup is coming, and it just makes stuff sound more energy, way better. So that's a cool thing to have. Okay, so what we're gonna do is move this along. We're gonna white noise. Okay, we're gonna add claps. I think I have a drum bus already though, so we're gonna use this. Sometimes I get lazy, I don't even want to open it, so I just make a new fucking track. Alright, so what we're gonna do is go into a trance pack that I have maybe. You can use any claps, to be honest, as long as you enjoy them. But I like to use the trance packs, I guess, that I've collected over the years. Well, not the first pack I ever bought, to be honest, I think was State of Modern Trance by Sennheiser. And honestly, I've been using that pack for a long time. It's still good. And know, it's just amazing what they did. They give you so much freedom. But the claps they have compared to nowadays, back then they used to give you a lot of samples where like the claps were like, they weren't really good claps to use, but you would layer them so you could create your own layers of claps. Nowadays, the sample pack companies have stepped up the game and they make claps that you can use straight out of the box and you don't even need to EQ or do stuff with them. So we're gonna try and find those type of claps from the Ultimate Trance pack. This was from Sonic Academy and they released it a long time ago. I think they released the second part. It's just really expensive and I haven't really found any reason to buy it. We want to clap. We don't really want to clap with that much fucking like reverb. Yeah, that one sounds nice and crisp, just does the job. We're gonna layer it, however, with another one just to make it sound a little bit more fuller. I hate the reverb these have. So I didn't really find one that I like from that. So let's check another pack. Past Intentionals. Let's see if this works. There we go. That sounds nice. We're gonna layer this and then we're gonna pretty much consolidate a loop. So we want 4 bars. There we go. Control J. Consolidates it like this so we can just duplicate it and it gives you pretty much a good loopable area. Alright, so it's clipping because of the claps. Let's lower them a bit. Alright, so we're gonna lower volumes a bit because it's clipping. Where's that bass at? Alright, we'll leave it there for now. That's fine. Alright, so now let's keep it going. So we have this here. We want kind of like an impact or a crash. So let's find one. Again, sample packs really help. Lower volume. We just want something that's not like crazy, you know, like sounds too crazy. Now we want kind of like an uplifter, one that's not so crazy because it's the first part of the drop. So we just want something to let people know there's going to be a little mini break and that goes into the crash. So let's see if I can find something here. There we go. That sounds decent. So we're just gonna use that, not so loud. Alright, cool. So let's see what else we can add here. Maybe another uplifter, but not, you know, so crazy. We just want like some white noise. There you go. This one's perfect. Towards the end of the song, we're gonna add a little bit of hint of reverb to this so that the white noise doesn't really go away. It kind of has a little tail of hint of reverb, so it sounds a little bit more cleaner from it. We're gonna add a little bit of hi-hats, but I'm gonna have the hi-hats be filtered in so it's not like sudden as fuck. It's more like slowly coming in. and you know, nice and clean, not overwhelming the listener. Pretty much, that's what I'm trying to do there. So I'm gonna use a progressive house pack with some hi-hat loops. Find some. You know, actually, I have this pack here that's like pretty much real life hi-hats. So let's see if that has anything. It's gonna take a while since it's like the hard drive. See if we can find anything. We don't want anything too complicated because we already have the rhythm of the bass. So we want to find hi-hats with a groove that's really not going to fight with the bass, pretty much. That's so wrong. Nope. Fighting the rhythm. Another one. I wanted to use that because it was real life hats, I guess. We'll try and find something. So try this one. I bought this pack. This was like the second pack I bought, the Audio 10 progressive house drums, and I remember I used to use shit out of it. Hat loops. That's decent. We can kind of layer this with another hi-hat loop. Now we're gonna get a second one. Alright, cool. I think this works. Maybe one more. Alright, there we go. Alright, so what we're gonna do again is let me call this high 3. We're gonna filter in the hi-hats so they don't come in like straight up in your face. It's more like hear it coming in slowly. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put a utility EQ8 and we're gonna do that here. It should come in by, again, right here halfway through, and then we'll just copy this and you know, paste it to the other hi-hats. Alright, so we're gonna pan this to the hi-hats to the right and the claps to the left. Just a tad bit. And this helps in pretty much putting stuff in their place. And again, when you hear a drummer live, you don't really hear everything coming straight from the center. The hi-hats, like they're all placed differently. Like we have one here, we have one here, here, we have the snare here, and somewhat. So you kind of want to imitate that in a way. We have the... Alright, so let's come up with some chords so then we can move the song along and know what we're going into, pretty much. So this is the D sharp minor, and you know, hopefully I can play the piano. I'm gonna try to while I hold the caps lock, but I'm gonna get something to hold the damn caps lock. See if this works. Oh, don't work. I don't have anything really heavy to batter. I'll just hold it so you guys can kind of hear while I'm playing. Gotta move the piano for you. Get to it. Pretty much I'm gonna just, you know, play and freestyle, and we'll see if we find anything. Sharp minor. Gonna hear this while I play, I guess. I think we're gonna use that. Hopefully I remember it. Let's see. So let's do that. Let me move the piano. Push! Push! Do this. And yeah, I'm wearing pajamas. It's like, what, 12:35 in the morning, so fuck it. Fuck the neighbors as well. Just kidding, though. My room is kind of audio proof, so I can produce till like 6 in the morning and no one will care because no one can hear it. And sometimes I do bump it loud. I master like at 2 in the morning, which is a horrible idea. Alright, so we're gonna do this. Let's use a contact. We're gonna use the Alicia Keys piano. The best piano on the market, which I really think it is. It costs $100, but I think it's worth it for a piano. A lot of guys use it, like Dennis Koyu. I want to say Axwell uses it, but I'm not sure. But you know, it's a really good piano. It's really clean. Almost everything by Native Instruments is just professionally made. Like, you know, the Emerald sound banks. Buy one. I'm just kidding. All right, so we gotta wait for this to load up, I guess. Bum 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 bum. All right, it's going. Come on, come on. All right, here we go. All right, so we're not gonna do the tan 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 version of this. We're just gonna do the normal dum. Those are gonna be our chords, I guess. They're a bit too happy, but you know, whatever. Fuck it. All right, let's keep it going. It's like, oh, Soundworld, you have such a sick ass rhythm, bro. I'm like, thank you, bro. Just kidding. We're gonna have the pad come in right now. So we're gonna have to start, you know, moving this along. Oh yeah, you know what I'm using. Just kidding. I don't think I have it on here installed. Oh my god, that sucks. Fuck it. We'll use something else. I forgot I changed the damn location of the presets, so we'll just use silent or something. Wait, fuck. Okay, let's try Majestic. We'll try this one and then we can change it if it doesn't work. Alright. Gonna have this being filtered in. The break's gonna happen here, so we gotta start moving this along. We gotta add more stuff, however. Part here we want to start playing the chords, but we don't really want to, you know, have them interfere with the bass. The attack, I think, is too high on this, if anything, because it's not, I can't hear it. Yep, too high. See if there's a better pad. This one looks good for like breaks. Cool, we're gonna need to add a little bit more stuff. Move it along. So now what we're gonna do is add some sort of like pluck or super saw like happening, so it adds more kind of groove, and it introduces the sounds we're gonna use for the second part of the drop. Filtering it in again. Gonna alter the sound a bit so it sounds a bit more sawish. Get rid of the white noise. We already have white noise. Get rid of the reverb. We're gonna sidechain it. We're gonna layer with something else. I want to layer with in a super saw that sounds really super sawish, so that way that's a little bit. Group them together. Now we're gonna put the sidechain in this group and take it off from the individual channels in that group. And now what we're gonna do is EQ this in the group, not separate, just a tad bit. And I'm gonna do it like this. We want to get rid of the lows, but we don't want to get rid of all of it because a lot of the warmness in sounds is in the low end. So that's where pretty much we want to keep. We're gonna widen them a bit, but not too much, just a tad bit. Some glue compression. And again, compression is just there to, it doesn't make shit loud. It actually reduces volume. And it's there to pretty much control the dynamics. So pretty much all the dynamics are reduced in the sound. So both of them are going to have around the same dynamics. And that's where the kind of the idea of gluing them together is that they're going to sound similar in volume and everything. So you're going to get more of a grouped sound that sounds pretty much just one. If you don't know what to put your release on, I suggest you just put it on automatic and you usually get it right. Now we're gonna put a reverb here. Again, we're using the Valhalla, and this one's gonna be our lead reverb. So that's what we're gonna do. This is for leads, and then we'll go through them and see which one sounds best. We don't want that much reverb though. Now we're gonna use some downlifters to spice things up on this. Pressure samples downlifter. Whenever you have ideas, by the way, add locators. Up here, you right click, add locator. Like right now, I want to add a ping pong to that. So ping pong. Just to remind myself to do it. Later. We're gonna lower volume of this. We're gonna add more layers to the pad. Now we're gonna process everything together here. Again, the pads. This is time for the pads. Just a tad bit here. S1 to really widen them. Alright, cool. I'm gonna start giving the super sauce melody. So pretty much what we're gonna do is change it. So around here, I think maybe. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna add more percussion. I remember hearing one in this pack, the CR2 Progressive House one that I really liked. So I'm thinking about using that one. Let's go with that. Alright, so what we're gonna start adding are our other stuff. We need more effects to happen here and maybe some fills after the first one so we can kind of spice things up more. That's what we're gonna do. We don't want anything too crazy. Alright, we're gonna add uplifter. See if we can find a good one to keep this interesting. Pretty much we want something like a riser or a fill, like a or some shit like that. Vengeance usually works. Try that, but we're gonna filter it in so it doesn't really, it can't be heard throughout the whole thing. And we just wanted to kind of move it forward. That's what effects are for, guys. Also, don't be afraid to use samples, because samples really help in speeding stuff up instead of you making this stuff yourself. Most producers use samples nowadays because, again, the whole thing is getting your idea done as fast as possible so you get it done and then you can focus on mass perfecting the song. Now we want to fill, but we don't want a fill that's big. We just want a simple fill. I'm gonna put an EQ on the drums, and what I want to do is we're gonna have a build up happen, but I'm gonna have the kick and the drums get filtered down. We're gonna have something like a downlifter, and then we're gonna have a pad like a drum with the chords, pretty much. We're gonna reverse this so we kind of use this as a down fill lifter, and we're gonna EQ it out. Pretty much the opposite of what we did there. I think that would sound kind of cool. Fuck, come out. There we go. Now we can have the pad. 4 bars. Alright, so I like to duplicate the pads. That way I have my breakdown ones and then I have my drop ones. The drop ones don't have any bass, the breakdown ones do. So that's the difference between the both. And that's what we're gonna do. Alright, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going, brothers. Now we're gonna do that trick I told you guys about. Right here. Also gonna do it to the kick. Do on the kick. Right here. And also on the bass and the sub. I'm gonna group them together to do that. Also on the main synth, so we kind of want to slowly get it into there. Pun intended. Just kidding. All right. Go. We're gonna do it to the pads as well, and then we'll be done. Now we just need an impact and all that good shit. Also want to sub down. Alright, so we need like a reverse thing. I want to start it with the piano too. Kind of get that mystical sound. We're gonna really reverb the piano though. See what we can do. Where's that piano at? Unless I fucking deleted it. I'll just open up a new one. I'll open up a new piano. It should be faster because I already opened it up before, so we'll just like open up instantly, I want to say. Yup. All right. I'm gonna record the piano and make a reverse out of it. So Control T. Reverse piano. What we want to do is hit record IO. We want to record the piano, which is called the MIDI track at the bottom. We have it record, and we just want to put a lot of reverb on the piano. We want like the initial hit, so do that. Try and wet. And we just want to get that hit of the piano, like that's a lot of reverb. I'm gonna increase the want to get rid of this stuff like the high cut, the spin, the diffusion, because it kind of EQs it. There you go. Record that. And there we have it. So now what we want to do is just reverse it. Wait, we don't want to move that. Reverse. We want to cut the first part, like the first part out of it. Like that. Now let's try it. Now what I like to use for this is the CLA Unplugged by Waves. What that gives you is pretty much some presets that you can put, and they usually sound really good. We want to use the stereo one though, not the mono one. And we're going to load up the Piano Man one, and that usually does the trick. Put a little bit more reverb. Now I want to get I get this a little bit lower. Lower velocity on it. Okay. So. We're gonna add like claps or some shit here. Festival claps, baby. I don't know why. I just like the sound of festival claps and I always use it on breaks. Don't judge me on it though. The ones I always use are from fucking the CR2 one. I have on the drops. They have like, oh wait, have these fucking claps. These ones, and I swear to God, they're so overused, but I think it sounds amazing. So we're gonna bring in the EQ8 back. There, it's done. There are 8 bars again, so here's 4 bars. So we wanted to come in here. Alright, we're gonna put like a snare build up there that we're gonna get from some sample pack. You can make them yourself, but again, better to just use these way faster. Here, I think the progressive house one will work. Yeah, this one should. I actually like these snares. I might try and see if I can put them on the first part of the thing. Hey. Uplifter 4, we need one more. We don't got D. Yeah, so we're gonna have to redo the reverb on this, but I'm too lazy, so I'm just gonna make this shit loud because I'm gonna EQ out the highs from this because we recorded it with it being high. girlfriend just walked in and she doesn't like to be on video, so I told her, I'm recording. You don't want to be on this. Alright, so we need to come up with a melody, I guess. So I think the supercells will play it. Alright, so let's see if we can come up with like a rhythm and a melody. There we go. Now we gotta find like a top layer melody. Alright. Alright, so now I'm gonna check if the bass works with that. So pretty much what I mean is I'm gonna try and keep the same pattern the bass had, but just make it move, you know, like with the saw. So pretty much the bottom note, they're gonna move to stay in key with the saw. So we're gonna start now at B. We're gonna move to F. Then we're gonna move to D. That, and then wait, no. We're moving to F, and then this part will be this, and then we'll move here. We're gonna add another layer to see if that will help in making it a bit better. Okay, let's see, let's add the white noise again. Okay, sounds decent. It doesn't sound like perfect, but it sounds decent, so I'll take that. I might change stuff a bit as we keep going. Okay, so let's keep going. I'm gonna use the same snare drum for the first drop. So what I mean by that is just use the same one to keep pretty much unity. Alright, we're gonna try adding another melody to it and see if that helps a bit. So we're gonna create a new layer. Now for the new lead layer, we can't really get crazy with it because we already have a lot of sounds going on. I still need to add the pads on the drop again. But this new lead, we're gonna try and just, you know, create a simple one that will be there. And it won't need to have that many layers because we already have so much going on that just one simple lead will sound big enough because everything will be working together. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's try this pack and we'll see if we can come up with something. Sorry if I blew your ears. I'm just gonna use this as a reference. It's not the lead I want to use. Okay, so now we just need to find a good lead. I don't want to use saw because we have a lot of saw going on. We're gonna use this along with maybe a square-ish lead. Will work. This one's good too because it adds some clickiness to it. We just need a square layer now. And then the saw will add a lot of low end to it, so that's what we're gonna keep it for. We need to find a pluck. This one's good for like big room, but not for this, so. Alright, so we're gonna use this to get rid of a lot of stuff from it, but we just want that top layer sound. Because that's the only thing we can hear in the layer when we play them together, so there's no need to have those low frequencies. Let's try this. Alright, so this doesn't work that well. Let's try to find something else. It's too plucky in my opinion. And I'm trying to fucking think of a good lead that would work. out real fast. Pretty much. I guess that will be like the outro and shit, so. We just need this part to sound good. Gonna add the drums and all that shit to this right now. So I think a good thing to do would be to add like the clap straight on the drop, so it sounds more like a climax. That I think it drops at 3. The hi-hats. Alright, so we have that. Alright, so pretty much I'll just say this is the idea because I don't want to fucking like just try and perfect the damn melody, because this is the track mainly to show you guys the process of creating the track. So we're gonna leave it as it is. So now what we're gonna do is do the intro to the best of our abilities. I might change it so it's a 45-second intro instead, and then we're gonna I guess do like a mix down, a fast mix down, and then a quick master, and we'll be done. Okay, so the intro is just gonna be the opposite of the outro, but we don't want to have like that much shit going on, mainly because you know, it's the part where the DJ mixes a song in, if they're gonna mix it in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna unlock this so the envelopes move with the song, and what I'm gonna do is make this more of a, you know, like a 45-second intro instead of a 1-minute one, so it gets straight to the point. We don't have to wait like a fucking minute for it. So a lot of progressive tracks are doing this. Progressive trance is following along on the footsteps as well. So pretty much 45 seconds gives us like around 45 seconds to do an intro there. So at the 30-second mark, technically our build-up needs to start. So that's what's going to happen. And let's get to it. So our snare roll is here. We want to move that here, I think. And I think I messed up. Did I? No, I didn't. So pretty much is the way it's going to... Oops, wrong place. Alright, so that's the way it's gonna work. Now what we're gonna do is just a simple hit the kick or something, or start with the claps, then bring in the kicks. So I think that will be more cool, and we'll have it like this. So instead of starting with a kick, we want to use a downlifter for this part. We're gonna use the one we used in the song around here. Did I? Yeah, it's right here. Nah, this one works better, I think. That one's too much. We'll bring the kick in right there. We'll add a reverse. We're gonna add the pad that we used, but just like the low note, not the pad, like the whole thing, but just the low part of it, just one note. Again, we don't want that much going on, okay? And we're gonna put this in the key of D sharp, not B. So we're gonna do D sharp root note. We're gonna filter this in, so we're gonna start adding, you know, kind of nice stuff to it. So yeah, that should work like that. We're gonna pitch this up right here on the part with the snare. We're gonna tease the drop like so. We're gonna use the same one we used here, but we're gonna move it a lot faster. So pretty much you can hear it more on the start. Alright, cool. Let's add more stuff to that part. Probably add like a piano or something. We'll use the fills that we used for that part there. We need to change the key of the piano throughout the whole thing to D, because then it's gonna sound really off key in that part. Again, we're using chords that is in the starting on the 6th instead of the 1st, so that's why we need to change this. Like, to be honest, I don't think a piano would be a good idea in the intro because we're not going into the break first. We're going into the drop. So let's ditch the piano and try and find something else we could probably use there, like maybe. Probably have super saws, but I think effects would rather work a lot better and more percussion from the song. That's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna bring in a lot of this stuff right here. We're gonna keep this snare going, but we're gonna pitch it up. So what we're gonna do is just do this, duplicate it, and we're gonna pitch the second one up here. We do this through transposition modulation right here. And then we just push it up to like a +12 semitones, maybe. That would work. dry and wet. We're gonna use it here. I'm gonna lower it, and then every time it hits, I want it to happen. So, just me. Dry and wet. Dry and wet. Lower it. And no dry and wet here. That ping pong delay, brah. It's so good, brah. Use auto pan on the fills to make it more interesting. Pretty much just, you know, the amount decides how much of the volume. So if I have 100%, it's all gonna get fucking panned. But we do it at 50 or 60, so it doesn't really lose volume like crazy ass shit. I want to have like a reverse here that's like a I think you can find those in reverse effects. Not those, but like they're like really crazy ones I've heard before. Not reverse crashes. We can try the Sennheiser Sci-Fi Effects one. I'm gonna slow this down some shit so it takes longer or something to get there. Want it to last longer. Yeah, it's not gonna work. We're gonna add little ear candy shit like like little shots and shit. Yep, little shit. We're gonna add little shit. man. I'm using this effects from the Serum Revolution Volume 2 bank. It's meant to be like atmosphere, so just so it doesn't sound so plain in the break. Thinking about reverbing the crap out of it though, so that it kind of doesn't really, can't really hear it, but it's adding a lot of reverb. So that's what I'm gonna do, I think. outro. I'm gonna add the rhythm from the beginning. When you have something like this, instead of doing that, just Control Delete will help to clear that up. All right, so we're done with the track. I'm not gonna add anything else because I don't want to get into that fucking habit of just like bam, 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 you know, adding shit. I know you guys probably do that, but remember and finish the track, and that's it. Don't I mean, add the stuff you want to add, but remember, keep it simple and just get your idea out. And don't get into the habit of just fucking, you know, doing like, you know, like changing, adding shit and getting all fucking crazy. Sometimes the simplest shit is the better stuff, because in the end, all that matters is the idea. If you make something really complex with a really sucky idea, there's no point of it being complex, because again, it's not gonna sound good. But if you have like a really good melody, that's pretty much all you need, and just compose it right. Don't get carried away, and just be safe. Release it, and hopefully, you know, it's good. This track came out better than I thought I was gonna do. I think it's been like an hour or so. So what we're gonna do is just, you know, finish up a mix and then master it, and that's it. I know this video is probably like 2 hours long though, but you know, let's just fucking hopefully you guys can watch it all the way through. So right now I'm just EQing the kick, getting a little bit of the lows out because these low frequencies really don't matter that much. What I want to do is add reverb for the drums, so that's what we're gonna do. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Hopefully this works. If it doesn't have any, I'll just use one. Nah, it doesn't have any. So what I'm gonna do is just, you know, make a standard one. We don't want that much decay time for drums, by the way, so a tad bit will work. Alright, so some things are going to get more reverb than others. The drums are going to get a tad bit. Then this is going to get just a little bit, not that much. The hi-hats are going to get a lot, by the way. Now we're going to glue compress this. Again, glue compression, I told you guys what it does, so that's the point. We're going to compress this. A little bit of saturation to give everything character. we're gonna use a transient to make the kick drum a little bit clicky, just a tiny bit. We don't want to overdo it. So we do a transient. You can look it up. Native Instruments has one that you can use called Transient Master. Just a tiny bit. Now let's mess with the bass a bit. I want to make this shit sound a little bit harder, so we're gonna saturate it a bit. See if we can get something. Alright, so we have a lot of the stuff kind of covered. The last thing we're gonna do, since we're not gonna really, get really picky with this, gonna add a little bit of reverb to the effects. That will be it, and EQ it, and then we can do a quick master. I'll just show you guys the guidelines for doing a master. Now, mastering to people can mean a lot of different things, because some people say it's making it louder. Some people say it's making it, it's like someone rechecking the mix down, making sure, final touches and shit. In my opinion, if you're doing your own, fucking masters and stuff, to me, it's just making it loud because you did your mix and everything. However, if you do take some time and leave the song for like a week and then come back to it and master it, then you could probably find imperfections. And then you can polish it a bit more, work on the mix more, and that could be considered a master as well. So a lot of people have different conceptions, but my perception of it is that pretty much what it's for, it's just to make it loud. That's pretty much it. Make sure everything sounds good, like compressed well in the master and all that. All right, so we're gonna do the effects right now. I don't know why I did that. I already had it done, so we're just gonna route it to C. All right, so our master is clipping right now. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna level everything correctly and see what's causing it to clip. And it looks like it's the drums, so let's fix that. Alright, so let's see what's causing it. We're gonna solo the bass and the kick to see if there's some conflict going on. So as you guys can see, there's no conflict. It's staying around 6, which is the goal. So something's causing the thing to go really high. So we got to figure out what it is. So let's check the drums now. And that's what it is. So let's try and fix that. I think we oversaturated a tad bit, so we're gonna fix that. Alright, so what we're gonna do now is put another EQ8 so that we don't alter the one that's doing the, you know, the low pass and all that. And we're gonna get rid of some of the lows. Alright, so pan it a bit more. All right, cool. So we have it at a good level now. So here are some tips for the mix down, guys. Remember, make sure to give everything its space. Make sure your kick is mono. Make sure your sub is mono. Your bass doesn't necessarily need to be in mono. However, I like to put it a little bit in mono, not fully mono. And I'm not talking about the sub part of the bass. I'm talking about the top layer. Make sure your drums are panned to make room. If you have effects like that thing, like this thing I have, I panned it to the right. I gave it some auto pan, so it's not interfering that much with the main mix. The lead, the main lead that we have on the drop, we need to actually alter that. I forgot to mess with it. So what we're gonna do to this lead is just, you know, do the simple low. We can cut a lot more because we have super sauce. As you guys can see, and that's gonna help us make up for like the lead not sounding so strong by itself, because again, we want everything to sound good together and not really fighting that much. So we panned also the super sauce, have some automation, so the width goes more wide than the way it is over here. I don't know if you guys saw me do it, but pretty much I had it automate up that way. It makes room for the leads that are sort of in the center-ish. So what we're gonna do is put an S1 on the leads, and what we're gonna do with that is just, you know, put the S1 imager here, and we're just gonna widen it just a tad bit, not that much, and we're done with that. We're gonna saturate and glue compress this together, and we should be done now for sure, because I think I didn't really alter much of the break, so I think I need to do that too. All right, cool. Now let's check the break to make sure everything sounds good. Alright, so the break could use some bit of mixing work. I did a little bit, as you guys saw, but that's gonna be it. I want to finish this video up, so let's do the master real fast and we'll go from there. So the first thing I'm gonna put is gonna be the SSL comp from Waves. You can use the glue compressor from Ableton. It's a good imitation of this. And what we want to do with this is just put the release on auto. The attack usually 1 or 3 should be fine. And what we're going to do is lower threshold. We don't really want to have that much. We just want enough to glue it together. So we have some compression, not that much. This is usually decent. I think I'm pushing it just a tad bit, but we should be fine. Now the next thing we're gonna do is put in EQ 8, and what we're gonna do with this is just cut off the super low end that we don't really need, like around 35, and then we're gonna cut the super high end, which is around, you know, I think 25 or 20 around. Alright, so now the next thing we're gonna do is we are gonna use an S1, the Ozone Imager, to kind of make sure everything that needs to be in mono is in mono, and widen the top a little bit more. So again, we're gonna hear the song and click learn. So now we want the low part, this. As you guys can see, there's a lot of shit going on. It's supposed to be a straight line, so that's what we're gonna do. Now it's a straight line. All right, now we want to hear this. Oops. Now we want to hear the next part. We're gonna just lower it just a tiny bit, not that much. Now the third band, which is the mid highs, we're gonna add a little bit, and then the high highs just a tad bit more than the band 3, maybe around 10%. Now if you guys notice, the headroom kind of went down because now the bass, the bottom end isn't like, kind of doesn't have any stereo at all, so now it's fully mono. And that's why I love the Ozone 5, using it in the master, just mainly for that. Okay, now the next thing we can do is we can do some mid-side EQing with the FAP filter Pro Q2. You can use the first one too, it doesn't really matter. And that's what we're gonna do next. And we're gonna pretty much we're gonna put mid-side. And what we want to do is we want to lower a bit of the lows and the sides in the stereo, and then in the mono we want to lower just a tiny bit of the highs. What this is gonna do, it's kind of gonna make separate the stereo from the mono a lot more, which is gonna allow us to have a really cleaner mix. And you can get more in depth by boosting in certain places and removing in certain places. That's up to you guys to decide. But that's gonna be the Fab Filter Pro Q there. The next thing we're gonna do is we can do some multi-band compression. We can do some saturation. However, I'm thinking about doing maybe just a tiny bit of the exciter from Ozone, just a tad bit, not that much. And I'm thinking about using the tape, and we're gonna pretty much saturate the highs just a tiny bit, and maybe mid lows. As you guys can see, just a tiny bit of this already makes it so loud, so that's what I was afraid of. So let's try this. again. Okay, now what we want to do is some multi-band compression. I use multi-band dynamics. The multi-band compression preset from Ableton usually does the trick, so I'm gonna do that. And now what you want to do is you want to kind of push this box down on what you think is louder and kind of lower it a bit more to compress it, and we should do that multi-band there. Okay, and now we're gonna do a final EQ. You can use the EQ8 or more of a linear phase EQ, which would be the wiser choice. And what we're gonna do is just see if there's any imperfections that we can fix before we limit it and make it as loud as we can. And now what we can do as well is find resonating frequencies. One way of doing that is just boosting and then kind of get the quadrant like this, and then you just hear through it. Like that. So we can remove that. Boost. Alright, so now the last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put a WLM this thing to measure loudness, and then we're gonna put the pretty much the invisible limiter, which is the best one to use if you want to get your shit really fucking loud. So I'm doing this in a way that most people do in EDM, and that's, you know, they push it till it distorts. So that's what we're gonna do, and all we do is move the input gain up, and that's pretty much it. Now we want to see how loud that is. The loudest the tracks get, to be honest, they go up to -4 for big room house. So if you get it up there without it distorting, then you know you did a good job on your master. Now mastering in itself is an art, honestly. Mixing is too. I've gotten to the point where I feel like I can do sort of like a good mix, but I hear sometimes other people's mixes and sometimes their stuff just sounds so much better. So I'm still learning as well. So I'm trying to teach you guys what I know, and hopefully we can grow together. So let's see how loud I got it, and if I can push it more, I will. So let's see. Alright, so I got it really loud. -5 LUFS is really fucking loud. You can compare it to a big room house track, and I think I can even push it more. The problem with that is the more you push it, again, you lose a lot of low end to it. But again, people like to hear shit loud, so that's the main reason for it. So for fun, I'm gonna try and get it louder. Let's see how loud it can go. Alright, so it can go really fucking loud. That's really crazy. Let's check it out let's check out the whole mix now. Alright, hi-hats are a little bit too high. We're gonna move that a bit down. Tiny bit. Alright, I think there's too much saturation on the high, so we're gonna remove the exciter from this because we already saturated a lot of things, so I don't think we need that. So we're gonna remove that. Alright guys, so we're gonna leave it like this. Now, if I have it this loud, obviously it's gonna sound really fucking squish, compressed, like everything out there. So if I wanted to conserve dynamics, I would actually lower this a bit more. So, you guys can see, you guys can make it super loud, but obviously it's gonna sound really fucking, yeah. A lot of people don't care. Again, some of the fans love that high shit. But anyways, guys, this has been the video. It's actually pretty long. It's 2 minutes and 16 seconds. I don't expect you guys to watch it all the way through, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I did this to make up for not finishing the Let's Collab, Let's Collaborate Trance, Progressive Trance. So here's the whole video of a whole progressive trance track finished. It might not sound like progressive trance, but this is my take on it. Hopefully it helps you guys out a bit. And yeah, this is how long it took to finish a track. Again, it doesn't really take like fucking days or weeks to finish a track, so keep that in mind. Have fun with it, and hopefully this video helps you guys out, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Don't forget to subscribe, hit comment, like, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I'm actually really sleepy. It's like 3 in the morning, and my neighbors didn't complain. As you guys can see, I was bumping that shit loud. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time for the 3rd time. Out.